What's going on, guys? Stray Alpha here, welcome to the video. Now, today I'm going to be showing you all a competitive team that I run, and I'm going to show you why I use the specific items. I'm going to show you why I use its moves and its ability, because you've got to be very careful with how you use a Pokemon in competitive, because one wrong move and it won't work out for you. So if you enjoy the video that I put out today, please like and subscribe. I'm going to continue making competitive videos so that you can all try and get as much success as possible. So without further ado, let's get into this. So the party that I'm running right here is the team that I end up using. So if we go to my battle teams, obviously I don't have it as an actual thing here. But if I go over, right here, I can make my team. Right here. So, first of all, I have a specific team right here. So first of all, Lucario. Lucario is a Pokemon you won't often see in competitive play, but when you do, it can often be very well. Now this is the Terra Ice Lucario that you can go and catch in the cave up to the Ice Gym on the Glacidio Mountain. So that's why it has an Ice Terra. I've given it the Muscle Band item because it's a lot better than a Life Orb, considering one of the Pokemon you see on the team is already going to have a Life Orb. So it's got the ability Steadfast, since Inner Focus isn't available as an ability in Scarlet and Violet for a Lucario. And I gave it the moves of Ice Punch, Close Combat, Meteor Mash, and Bullet Punch. Now you could give it Poison Jab over Meteor Mash or Bullet Punch, but then you've got poison coverage, which will be helpful against fairy types. Ice Punch is there as the obvious move that will help you to deal with your Ice Terror, so you have a Terror boosted move. And Close Combat is there because it's probably the strongest fighting move that isn't Meteor Assault. And Meteor Assault is the signature move of Surf Edge, so it works best there. It's not the most successful fighting type. I have another one on the team that works a lot better than Lucario. But you'll find that if you can get the right nature on a Lucario, for instance, I've got a speed up in nature here, lowers my special attack, which is good anyway, it's a glass cannon. You will find a lot of success using it, because you want to have a fast Pokemon that can hit hard, and Lucario does that pretty well. Moving down, we then have Dragonite, which is another Pokemon you don't often see in competitive play, due to its quad weakness to Ice. But this Dragonite is the Steel Terror Dragonite that you can catch outside of Levincia. And then it's got the item of Leftovers, so that it can heal off any of the damage that it receives. It's got the ability Inner Focus, so it can't be flinched or have its stats lowered by Intimidate, which I think is a very helpful ability to have, considering how much of a physical attack a Dragonite really is. Because its current physical attack stat is 323, which is very good considering that its whole moveset is based over its physical attack. Now it's got the move Iron Head, so it can handle its Steel Terror, so it has a Terror boosted move. Dragon Dance, so that if you can set up, you can be faster and you can hit harder. Very good thing for a Dragonite to have. Rock Slide, because it hits both enemies if you're in a double battle, and it's good for flinching. And then Earthquake for a nice bit of coverage damage that hits hard anyway. Overall, I think it's got a very good nature, dropping its speed in return for attack. Obviously, you can go for the attack upping and special defense lowering nature, which is probably better for a Dragonite. But the Dragonites that you will find, other than the ones that you can get in the DLC area, are mainly going to have an attack upping nature and a speed lowering nature, which is probably the best one you're going to find outside of the DLC. Moving on, we then have my legendary, which is Urshifu. It's obviously got its fighting terror, since it's an Urshifu and its moves mainly are fighting type. It's got the item Life Orb, so it can hit even harder in exchange for losing some of its health, which I don't think is a real problem, if I'm honest. Then it's got the ability Unseen Fist, meaning it can hit through Protect. It is actually its only ability, but it's helpful either way because at least it means that you can't be Protect stalled. And then it's got the moveset of Poison Jab, Wicked Blow, Close Combat, and Iron Head. Poison Jab is there because its nice coverage helps to deal with its 4x Fairy weakness, hitting back with a super effective move to it, and has a good chance to poison, which can be helpful in battles. Wicked Blow is there because it's a guaranteed critical hit move and Urshifu's signature move. Close Combat is there as a very powerful fighting type coverage move. and Iron Head is also there to help deal with fairy types. Now this Pokemon right here is probably the best, if not like one of the best legendaries that you will find in competitive play. It doesn't have the best possible nature. Upping its special attack in return for special defense isn't very good. Most fairy type moves that you are going to see are going to be special moves. But this is a very good nature for an Urshifu, in a way. Because then at least if you choose to go for special attack instead of physical, you'll hit decently hard. But overall, very good coverage, very good stats. Then here's an issue with this team. If you play Pokemon Scarlet, you'll have to have somebody trade you this Pokemon, considering that this Pokemon is version exclusive to Violet. It's one of the paradoxes that you can only get in there, and some of the other paradoxes can only be found in Scarlet. For instance, Roaring Moon Brute Bonnet is in Scarlet, which is the game I have, and then Iron Valiant, Iron Moth, for instance, they're the ones in Violet, for instance. So right here we have an Iron Valiant. I'd say probably the best out of every single one of the Paradox Pokemon, excluding Walking Wake. Walking Wake is just overpowered, if I'm honest. Got the item Booster Energy. I'm gonna give credits to my friend for being able to trade this Pokemon to me for the competitive play. It's a very good Pokemon in general that I felt had to be on a good competitive team, since it hits really hard and it's very fast as well. It's a very advantageous Pokemon to have on your team. Obviously, it's got the ability Quark Drive, being the only ability it can possibly have, which is still a good ability considering its item is Booster Energy. But then it has the moveset of Psycho Cut, Night Slash, Leaf Blade, and Moonblast. Moonblast I would have changed out for Play Rough, if not for the fact that Play Rough isn't that accurate. And I'd rather have a 100% accurate move, considering that Moonblast doesn't, give out bad damage anyway. Psycho Cut, Night Slash, Leaf Blade all have equal critical hit chance, which is very high as well. Obviously, Psycho Cut is there to cover against fighting and poison types mainly. Night Slash is there mainly for Dark and Ghost. Leaf Blade is there for mainly Water, Ground and Rock, which you don't really have a problem with. Leaf Blade, however, I will point out, is stronger than both Psycho Cut and Night Slash, because it has 90 base power, whereas the other two have 70. And its critical hit chance, while being the same as Psycho Cut and Night Slash, despite having more damage, it makes it a way better move. And Moonblast has a good chance to lower special attack, and Iron Valiant doesn't have the best special defense ever, so it makes having Moonblast very helpful. Overall, it's got a very nice nature, upping its attack for defense. I think that's perfect for an Iron Valiant, considering its main idea is to hit hard physically. And as long as you can get the right moveset on this, like the one I have here, you're going to find a lot of success using an Iron Valiant. Then a very confusing one, I use a Glaceon on my team as well. Now, you wouldn't expect to see Glaceon in competitive play, but because it's an ice type and you're going to see a lot of dragon types in competitive play, it actually makes Glaceon a somewhat viable option. And its item choice scarf is very helpful as well, because it makes it faster than quite a lot of Pokemon, considering it normally has a pretty pitiful speed stat. Moving over, it's got the ability Snow Cloak, because sadly Ice Body isn't an ability in this other than on Excalibur. And then it's got the moveset of Ice Beam, Snowscape, Water Pulse and Calm Mind. Now originally I used heavy duty boots on this Glaceon, hence why it has Calm Mind and Snowscape. But I changed it over to a choice scarf knowing that it needed to have a lot more speed. And then its stats, if you notice, it's got an attack dropping nature to up its defense. Perfect nature for a Glaceon. You don't even need its special attack to be upped, considering its special attack stat is so high on its own. And then if we move down one more time to my last Pokemon, I use a Gardevoir. You're going to notice I use an Iron Valiant and a Gardevoir. It's for no bad reason. I think both of the Pokemon are very helpful in competitive modes. Now it's got the item of Expert Belt, which is an amazing item in general to have on a Pokemon like Gardevoir. Since its typing of Psychic Fairy means that you'll get a lot of different coverage moves. For instance, you can get Thunderbolt on this, but I opted for a better electric move. Now it's got the ability Trace, meaning that it's going to have a better ability than Telepathy or Synchronize, because they are both very bad abilities. And Trace can get you some very good abilities if you use them on the right Pokemon. And then it's got the moveset of Calm Mind, Moonblast, Charge Beam, which I'll go through in a minute, and Psychic. Calm Mind is there to boost your special attack and special defense, which is something that a Gardevoir can definitely benefit from. Moonblast is there because it's the strongest special fairy move other than Misty Explosion that Gardevoir can learn. Charge Beam is there because, well, I'll explain Charge Beam after Psychic actually. Psychic is a extremely powerful move. 90 base power and a chance to lower special defense is no joke of a move. And considering that it's 100% accurate too, you're going to get a lot of success out of using it. Charge Beam though, you'd expect to see a Gardevoir with Thunderbolt, or even Hydro Pump because it can learn that. But no, Charge Beam has a 70% chance to up your special attack. On a Pokemon as specially hitting as Gardevoir, that is insane. If you don't want to go through the thing of not dealing damage in order to boost your stats, just use Charge Beam Gardevoir. Although I will say a good alternative to Charge Beam Gardevoir is Thunderbolt Gardevoir, considering that's 100% accurate 90 base power with a chance to paralyze, which is undoubtedly amazing. If you go to change moves though, I will say another good move you can put on it is Misty Terrain. You can have Mystical Fire, which is really nice. Another really good one that people overlook though is Life Dew, which Life Dew is a move you won't see on a lot of Gardevoirs, but because it does healing so well, because you can heal anyone on a double battle, if you're doing double battles and you've got a Pokemon that sincerely needs healing, you can have Gardevoir use Life Dew and you'll be getting a lot of healing, which is very helpful, especially for double battles. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend Life Dew. In terms of Glaceon, it can have Chilling Water by TM, but I gave it Water Pulse instead since it does more, and it has a chance to confuse, which can be very helpful. It can get Ice Shard, but you don't really want physical moves on your Glaceon, especially with the nature it has. Freeze Dry is not a bad option because you can do super effective damage to more types than normal, considering that you can then do it to water types. Blizzard, if I had heavy duty boots on, I would replace Water Pulse with Blizzard, so that if I set up Snowscape, not only do I have better evasiveness, Ice Beam gets a boost, and then Blizzard gets a boost and becomes like a move that cannot miss. Amazing to have. Especially since Glaceon's special attack, on my level 94 by the way, is 302. I have not hyper-trained this. I haven't hyper-trained anyone on my team. I do recommend that you do hyper-train though, it will help out a lot in the long run. Icy Wind isn't the best ice move you can get, especially when there's an option of Ice Beam. Iron Valiant, I don't see a lot of good moves. Obviously Close Combat and Knockoff are available, which aren't bad when you're in competitive, because a lot of competitive things are going to have items, so Knockoff is very helpful. You can replace Night Slash with that if you want, at the cost of lower critical hit chance. Shadow Sneak and Fury Cutter are moves that this Iron Valiant did have upon being caught, but it's not moves that I would go for. Shadow Sneak, while it does give you priority, it only has 40 base power, and considering that, while yes, you're going to face a lot of ghost types in competitive, Shadow Sneak isn't really necessary, especially when Iron Valiant gets Knockoff and Night Slash. And then Fury Cutter is just a gamble. You have to hit it or it basically becomes useless. Dazzling Gleam is not as good as Moonblast, purely because it's lower power and you want physical attacks. Urshifu can get a lot of good moves. Like, for instance, you can get Sucker Punch, which is very good. But I wouldn't recommend replacing Wicked Blow with Sucker Punch, since it only works if they're readying an attack, as it says right there. Wicked Blow is a guaranteed crit 75 base power move. Stab boosted, by the way, by Urshifu. So you're getting at least like 200 damage out of one Wicked Blow, if the math works there. Aerial Ace is not a bad move by any means, because it cannot miss. But again, you don't really need flying coverage on an Urshifu. Obviously, you get flying type threats in Pokemon such as, like, you'll have flying type difficulty in terms of damage to Urshifu, but because Urshifu has decent, like, physical bulk, and most good flying moves are physical, if we exclude Hurricane and Air Slash, you're not going to have many problems with it. Then, if we if we go to Dragonite now, you'll notice it can get mainly special moves that you don't really want. Thunder Punch, Wing Attack, Fire Punch, Honorable Mentions. Same goes with Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed is a +2 priority move with 80 base power. And yes, it says it always goes first. It doesn't always go first because you get moves out there like Fake Out and Protect, which in competitive, you're going to face Pokemon like Incineroar that have Fake Out, Pokemon like Breloom that have Fake Out, Pawmot that have Fake Out. It's very common in competitive to have to deal with Fake Out, which is a guaranteed flinch. However, Dragonite doesn't have to deal with that due to Inner Focus, and its other ability is nowhere near as helpful. Multi-Scale, while being a good ability, it doesn't matter if you take less damage when you're at full health. That's not going to make the biggest difference. Then Aqua Tail, Dragon Rush, and Outrage. Outrage is not worth it. You're going to get confused unless you have a berry that's going to unconfuse you. I don't think it's worth the confusion. Dragon Rush isn't accurate enough, and while yes, it has like a 50% chance to flinch, I still don't think it's good enough. It's not a good enough gamble. Aqua Tail, there's so many better water moves out there. I don't use one necessary. You can get Wave Crash on this. Then Dragon Tail, for instance, not a bad move, but the negative priority isn't the best. Rain Dance, not the best unless you're going to go for like Wave Crash or Aqua Tail. Just to point it out, Wave Crash can only be learnt by TM, so keep that in mind. Hyper Beam, Hurricane. As I mentioned earlier, Dragonite's not that much of a special attacker in comparison to its physical. You want physical moves on your Dragonite. The reason that mine doesn't have something like Dragon Claw though, is because you're going to mainly terrestrialize your Dragonite due to stuff like Ice, in which case Steel resists that. And then you're going to hit back with something super effective if it's an Ice type like Iron Head, which gets the Terra boost and then the Stab boost, making its damage a lot higher. Then Lucario, there isn't really too much you've got to do with a Lucario. Except, and a lot of people do it, but stick away from Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere, I won't lie, Aura Sphere is a great move. It can't miss and it's got 80 base power, but it's a special move. And while Lucario does have good special attack, it hits harder physically. You want to hit hard physically with Lucario, hence why it's got close combat instead. As I said with Dragonite, Extreme Speed, great move, just not as good on Lucario, especially when you get Stab Bullet Punch. Then Swords Dance isn't a bad move by any means. Swords Dance is a move you're going to see on almost every Lucario, but I personally think that Meteor Mash is a better move to have than Swords Dance because it's got a 20% chance to up your physical attack by one stage, which is very good, to be fair. 20%, although it is only 90% accurate, so I can see people going for Swords Dance. Then Force Palm, obviously with its paralysis chance, is not a bad move either, but it's not something I recommend. And then Metal Claw, Detect, Reversal, and Final Gambit. You are not supposed to put those moves on Lucario. I've been playing competitive and seeing so many of them using stuff like Final Gambit in terms of like beefing up a King Gambit, which again, not a bad strategy by any means. But you're not gonna want to sacrifice a Lucario to beef up a King Gambit when every single, and I mean every single competitive team should be running fighting types. King Gambit, unless it terrestrializes, is quad weak to fighting, so it's not worth beefing it up by getting rid of your own fighting type. And then Life Dew, as I said with Gardevoir, you have better options, but Life Dew, if you're in a double battle, can really help you. So I'm actually going to head into a battle now, and I'm going to show you how this team actually works. But from here, I'm going to take you into the battle. It's not ranked, it's not a guaranteed win, because no team is going to ever get you a guaranteed win, of course. Now, you want to always try and get the normal rules, which sets all levels of all Pokemon to level 50, meaning that you'll have a fair fight while also being able to test out your team and see if there's anywhere you can go wrong. Now, the one issue is that you don't get fire coverage on my team. However, there's not a massive issue with that because it's only fire coverage, and having that isn't a problem. Like, you don't get... Fire isn't good on as many types as stuff like steel. I'm also going to change this. I'm going to put on that music, since it's better music for the battle. Preparation's complete, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So, ooh, that's a nice team they've got there. Ambipom, Blastoise, Gliscor, Electivire, Magmortar, and Noctowl. That Gliscor right there, I'm going to say it immediately. It is a Poison Hill Gliscor. For sure that is a Poison Hill Gliscor. Lead with Iron Valiant. Then you want to use Gardevoir, Glaceon, Dragonite, Urshifu, Lucario. You don't have to go in this exact order. This is just the optimal order, I believe. Best one I've ever had. I put on a nice battle music so that while you're watching, have some nice music to listen to as well. I'm imagining they have a Poison Hill Gliscor there. Convenient how the music I have on is right here. Shiny Ambipom, that's a nice shiny, isn't it? Alright, well I immediately know what move I'm going for. I'm immediately going for a Leaf Blade. I think, oh, Thunder Wave. I don't think Ambipom gets Prankster, luckily. That's not a problem against here. Leaf Blade does big damage. Yeah, that's not bad damage. If I can get a crit here, I one-shot the Ambipom from here. Knock on. That's useless. I quad resist that. If this crits, they're dead. Ooh. Would have been a good time for priority. Oh, they might. The Quick Claw's useless. You're faster than me anyway. Metronome. Oh, wow. Didn't know they got Tearful Look, really? Do I have to worry about Tearful Look? I don't think so, no. Well, there goes their Ambipom. Magmortar. Right. So, right here, I'm paralyzed, and my attack and special attack may have gone down. However, I have something cool, because I have my boost from not Photosynthesis, Quark Drive. They're the same thing, technically. This is gonna hurt. It hurt less than I thought. Boy, that hurt. Yeah, there goes Iron Valiant. Alright. Because they bring out Magmortar here, the best option is to... Oh, do they have a Shell Bell? They have a Shell Bell, that's pretty smart. You want to bring out Dragonite here, since it has Earthquake, and knowing the fact that they do have an Electivire, this is good to have. So, they have Poison Jab, they're faster than me as well. They shouldn't... Oh, I forgot Poison. Shouldn't be giving physical moves to a Magmortar. It's a special attacker, always has been. So I'm going to strike it with an Earthquake here. That's some nice damage. One tap with the Magmortar, perfect. That puts us in a nice spot for the rest of this battle. Again, not a guaranteed win, but it's still a nice position to be in. Got our leftovers healing, but Poison's just going to override that. That's unfortunate. Sadly, you can't use healing items because I'd probably use a full heal on my Dragonite. Treasure Hunter, what is it? Oh, it's their Blastoise. They have decent Bolt. I'm gonna Earthquake here. They have Ice Beam. Oh yeah, that kills for sure. So, Gardevoir is probably the only option I have for this thing. Lost Iron Valiant earlier. Oh, so they have Torrent, not Rain Dish. Okay. I'm going to Charge Beam here, since I might be able to get my special attack. They have Rapid Spin, hits decently hard, and gets that speed boost. That could be key later. Hit him with a nice Charge Beam, super effective damage, and I got the special attack boost. Nice. They know I have Charge Beam, actually, so they might go into Gliscor here. They did not. Oh, liquidation hurts. Can I get a crit, maybe? Oh, I can hit hard enough. That's pretty hard. I don't know if I live another one, but I'm going to Psychic in case they go to Glacial. Do I live this? Bye-bye, God of War. I thought God of War might live another liquidation. Sadly, I was wrong. Alright, I'm gonna bring in... You know what? I'm gonna probably bring in Urshifu here, because I know for a fact Urshifu is going to outspeed. So we're in a position of I've lost one more Pokemon than them. Oh no, they are faster than me. Wow. I thought Urshifu was faster. It's fine, they go down to a Wicked Blood. Nice Life Orb help there. Oh, I think that's very in that situation, but... They might... Reliable partner, is this Gliscor? Oh, it's Noctowl. I'd say probably Wicked Blow here. Stab crit. Yeah, that does big damage. I almost one-tap. Oh, Air Slap probably takes me out. Yeah. Nice damage on the Noctowl. Very nice damage. Glaceon, you're gonna have to come in for now. Now, I know for a fact that they've got an Electivire still alive. Obviously, I Ice Beam here. Glaceon should outspeed the Electivire later and hit the decently big, which is what we want to see. Treasure Hunter again, what is this? Electivire. Ice Beam again, do I kill? Oh, Trail Blade. Now, I didn't know Electivire learned Trail Blades, okay. Ice Beam hits hard, I think. Oh, it hits decently hard, yeah. What else do they go? Flamethrower, oh no. Oh, I live it though. Can I? Oh, I got burned. I've been poisoned and burnt by pretty low chance moves there. Can I crit? I can't crit. Can I freeze? I cannot. You know what? It's alright, because even though I go down here, Lucario has a Bullet Punch, and while yes, that Electivire is going to resist it, I'd rather Bullet Punch it, knowing it might not die, than die to a Flamethrower. This is going to be risky, but I'm going to Bullet Punch for the priority here, and see if this kills. It should kill. It does, nice. So their last Pokemon here is Gliscor, which we should be able to take down easily with Ice Terror, Ice Punch, if I'm not wrong. I've got reason to believe this Gliscor has Poison Heal. Not a shiny Gliscor. Gliscor's got a great shiny overall. So I Terrestrialize here for an Ice Punch. I don't know if they're going to Terrestrialize here. No way to know if they're going to Terrestrialize. But it's a one-on-one situation here. Lucario should hit hard. They Earthquake. Does this kill me? Oh no, I eat it. Does Ice Punch one hit? It might do. Because it's one. Nice. And this is why you have Lucario at the back. Because its coverage really helps. Since I saw that we was going to have Gliscor at the end, I left Lucario here for its Ice Terror Ice Punch. And as you can see, it got us the match. That's going to be it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please like and subscribe. I will be trying to put out as many competitive videos as possible, so I can try and help you all get the best play experience as I can. I hope you enjoyed, and this is Stray Alpha. Goodbye. Peace out.